back again with my old promise of getting a new guest, but like my other sessions, the same thing will happen today. After a few minutes, we'll forget who is guest, who is host. So let me welcome someone. But before I bring the person on screen, let me read out something. Soft-spoken, kind-hearted, and so gracious abroad, outstanding in everything he does, and a bundle of joy, whether the piano or any other artistic skill. You see, in the school, play, and drama of life, hero he will always be. Our cultural vice captain is from a foreign shore. He is a mad wizard with talents galore. May God grant him all he holds dear, fill his life with success and cheer. So it's my proud privilege to welcome none other than Sapulnach Prompiengchai from Thailand. So welcome Sapul. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. It was a great appreciation, but yeah, I mean, maybe now I'm not a culture vice captain, but whatever I've learned, it's like I'll never forget it. So
yeah, about this cultural captain, I would like to start my conversation with this. See, you come from a different culture, right? Now, if you can share your experience, I'll tell you. Just a minute. I think I need to close the door. Yeah, as you know that I don't have the habit of giving too many instructions, so I did not instruct my boys to not to disturb me, because that is what I consider as wrong art of parenting, right? Always to say no, don't do this, don't do that. So, but I don't want disturbance, so I had to be off screen for a few seconds. Now, say, I know the story well. Before, when the proposal came to you to be the cultural captain to lead the school in the cultural front, and it was a long session between you and me. At night, it happened in my room, and you, given the kind of person you are, you give considerable amount of thought before you take up any responsibility. What I mean is, you think before you act. So, if you can briefly let everybody know about your experience after being cultural captain, yeah, that you'll describe, of course, but I'm more interested in that initial part. When you took up the responsibility, what was going through your mind after getting the proposal, and when and how you accepted that proposal? Yeah, it's up to you. Support.
well, maybe when I came to the school, like in fifth grade, like I never imagined that I would lead um, a school, international school, but it's basically full of Indians, and I'm actually new to that culture itself, and new to everything. So I never thought I would actually become a cabinet member. So, and also I'm inclined towards academics, so I thought I won't be able to manage it. But then, as we all know, we have to be holistic. So therefore, I gave a thought, and then Sir, our housemaster, and then Subhadip Sir, and then even Rohan Sir, they saw potential in me. So I think they chose me maybe because of my personality. I mean, I might not have shown any leadership skills before, or maybe I have shown, but I haven't known it. But then somehow they saw it. Then I thought that it would be a good learning experience. And along with the along with a lot of work with the IBDP. So I decided that, yeah, maybe I can try and become the cultural captain, and I will try to lead by showing the students myself. Like for example, if I
Leading
want,
by example, right? Yeah.
yeah, leading by example. Yeah, that's just another synonym. So basically, if I want them to learn music, I have to play music good by myself, and here's the piano in front of me because I love them a lot. And also, I would like to use my creativity in my in my course. So I thought that it would be a good opportunity to apart from academics to try to improve my leadership skills and be editor in chief in the Rising Sun and the Pulse, and I've learned a lot from that. So after a lot of thoughts, so I've decided that if my teachers believe that I'm potential enough, I'm good enough, then I can prove that. So I've chosen.
So it was a good learning experience, right? After taking the bold decision that you took, and not immediate decision. I can tell the viewers that he gave considerable thought into this and then took it up as a responsibility. And what he shared with me after say 6 months of that, during some intimate conversation, he shared this with me that I never knew that I have certain other skills also, which he realized in the process. Now, when I talk of skills, he has interest in various things, and purposely I don't use the word talent because the term talent is used very loosely these days. Right? That is why I'm not using the word talent with Sapulnach. Uh, I won't. I don't like to use this for Sapulnach. He has deep interest in many things, and this is primarily because he knows how to enjoy life. So if I start narrating what interests he has, the list will be long list, long list. Mm, so he is uh, mainly into academics. He is mainly into sports. He is mainly into music. So everything is main for him. So there is nothing which is subsidiary for him. And it was my good fortune to be with this boy from far away land, Thailand, for 8 years. He joined the school in 2012 when he was in grade 5 now. That year, a big program was happening in our school. Uh, a production of Beauty and Beast. So there he got a role of a book. You remember which book it was?
I think it was the Gulliver's Travel.
Gulliver's Travel. Yeah, Gulliver's Travel. So he got the role of a book, a silent boy, without any dialogue. He had little movements. So that was in when he was in grade 5, and coming to grade 12, uh, he took part in something. Rather, he not only took part in inter-house competition. We have one event called one act play. So there, he was the director and he was the main. He played the main character also, and it was on Indian culture. And this was what they enacted on stage was Kabuliwala by Rabindranath Tagore, and Sapolnach played the role of Mini's father, a pure Bengali Babu, and he directed everything. I would like to show the viewer a glimpse of this. Suppose it would be nice, right? If people see the
Sure.
part. Yeah, two clips I have with me right now. Let me see if I can manage to display those. I think I have. Just a minute. Yeah. Yes, viewers, you can see Sapol and Kabuliwala, right? So here he is in Dhoti Kutta, and I think in the next slide he is picking up his daughter Mini. So in full Dhoti Kutta he did this, and Yeah, that play got first prize. Okay, prize is not the ultimate. So he enjoyed a lot. So if you
Yeah,
can
I
share
enjoyed it
your,
a lot.
yeah, if you can now share your experience of this journey, Kabliwala journey. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's the highlight of the moment in my school because, like, even as a culture captain, you're supposed to be learning cultures, like,
yeah,
right? So, yeah, just by writing the script, like, not even acting, you have to understand the few Bengali jokes, like, many foreigners would fail to understand.
yeah.
Like if you take, for example, the I think the father-in-law, the joke. I think it means prison or something, right? The
Sosurbari, yeah. Sosurbari, yeah. Sosurbari means father-in-law's place, and prison is referred to as that. Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
So when I read the story first, I was like, how would we come first? But then um, I don't like giving up, and I think I took help from a lot of Bengali friends and Indian friends. Then from that collaboration, I learned how to kind of imbibe all the culture so that the play, when it's eventually being projected, the audience would have the feeling of sadness, happiness, and they would reflect it in their own lives. So I think apart from my music, which I try to incorporate in the one act play too. So I think in that one act play, I learned particularly about a lot about the culture. I became more open minded, and yeah, it's definitely tired, but it's enjoyable. Like the acting,
Yeah,
trying to become a father, you have to think, right?
yeah,
How does father actually behave?
yeah.
So yeah, by learning these new things, it will help me like in every way in my career. Like even like I want to become a doctor, so I have to understand the patient. So it's the same thing, right? So I
That's
think
true.
whatever I do, I try to take it very seriously. So that's how I achieve in many things. Yeah.
So it was a good practice for you. And as
Yeah.
Sapna said that he learned many things. A few keywords that you used just now, you became more open-minded. And one more important thing, what you used is we need to learn about different cultures and
Yes.
working for the one act play right from the beginning to the final accomplishment. It gave you enough scope to learn about another culture and not just Indian culture, one particular part of India, Bengali culture. Yeah. Would you like to name one or two teachers? Like who, by the way, who helped you in wearing the dhoti?
I don't remember.
Must be teacher, right? Or yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
But I just remember that we have to call all the ladies teacher to see the female roles because we are boys school. That's
yeah,
enjoyable.
yeah. So we really enjoyed. We really enjoyed.
We have to be creative too in our lives.
So creativity was at the peak at that moment, right? So, and he, as Suppose said that he wants to be a doctor, and to let the viewers know, he would specialize in neuroscience, right? Suppose,
Yes.
yeah, and his academic background. If I can give a brief of his academic background, yeah, he joined the school in grade five. Now, from five to eight, he studied in Indian curriculum. He studied Hindi also, so he knows he can utter sentences in Hindi. So till grade eight, he studied even Hindi, Sanskrit also perhaps, right?
In fifth and sixth, Canada.
Kannada, yeah. Kannada, Sanskrit, Hindi. Then when he came to grade 9, he took up that course, IGCSE from Cambridge. So there he studied French, no, Spanish,
Spanish.
Spanish, yeah, Spanish
Spanish.
as third language, and mathematics and biology was were the two main subjects for him, subjects of interest. I don't know. He might differ. He might take name of another subject also. But this I'm saying from my observation and my understanding, biology and mathematics. Now, in mathematics, in our school, we offer two levels of mathematics. One is extended mathematics, and one is international mathematics. Now, extended is much lower in standard than international mathematics. So naturally, Sapulnach took up international mathematics. He did it for 1 year, and this IGCSE is a 2 year curriculum, grade 9 and 10 combined. So he took up international mathematics, and within 1 year he finished. And there is a third higher level of mathematics called additional mathematics. Now, in our school, we don't offer that. But for Sapol, international mathematics was too elementary for him. Though this is,
No.
yeah. So he took interest in additional mathematics, and as I said, we don't offer it in school. So he did it all on his own for 1 year, and the culmination of that was when he got full marks, 100 marks, 100 out of 100, 100%, I mean, in additional mathematics, and he was world topper for which he was awarded. He went to Mumbai later to receive the award. So he was world topper in mathematics. So that's how his journey of grade 9 and 10 ended. But all these days, till he was in grade 10, I was little unhappy for because of one reason, that I from grade 5 to grade 10, I did not get a chance to be with him in the same classroom. So after waiting for 6 years, I got the chance to teach to be with him in the same classroom when he started IBDP, so grade 11 and 12, and he took up mathematics higher level. And one thing made me immensely happy after say 7 or 8 days of our classes. Sapol said something in the class that uh, in his own style, that mathematics also is so interesting. So who knows? I might become a mathematician also. So, but that could not happen. So that is fine. So ultimately, he will pursue his medical course. And recently, they got their result. They could not write their final exam because IBDP, given the COVID-19 issue, IBDP cancelled the exam. So their result was announced on the basis of their work they did during 2 years, and all their internal submissions, extended essay, then exploration, all this. So IBTP curriculum scoring pattern is little different. They can get maximum 45 points. So for Sapulnach it was guaranteed, but when the result came, he got 43 out of 45. So it was little sad for teachers, but for Sapulnach it was not sad. He is fine with everything. Now, so many students and teachers across the world were not happy with the IB results, so they approached IBO, Switzerland, IBO, International Baccalaureate Organization, with their demands or their points, around 700 schools. So only yesterday it happened that IBO revised their result. So Sapulnach gained 1 point. So now he got 44. So fine, he is fine with that, and now he will be pursuing course. He got admission already, but course will start from October perhaps. He is going to University of Toronto to pursue his medical studies. So if you can tell us more about that.
Yeah. So regarding mathematics, it's not that I now don't like it.
I
Actually,
never said that.
yeah, actually, I still love mathematics. But then just that now, instead of becoming a mathematician, I will be applying mathematics to whatever I'm doing. So like for IB, I've taken statistics. So I think for psychology or for any interdisciplinary studies, you would need mathematics. And then like I have been researching about structural equation modeling and using computer science. So now like my passion is expanding slowly. So I don't know where will I go, where will I be, what will I be doing in 8 years. But definitely my curiosity will, starting from the additional mathematics to extrapolating to the future, I think it's going to change drastically. And regarding the IB results, um, personally, I feel, yeah, 43, 44, it's the same, like, right? It's just numbers. But what you learn from it and what you're going to use with that knowledge that I got, like for my exploration. For the science subjects, like I've learned how to research, and then that has got me a scholarship too for those like creativity in research. Like I've got Lester B scholarship for University of Toronto, so that's a full scholarship. So I've written these things like how I like researching. I want to use mathematics and music to cure the brain disease that are not yet curable. They are like Alzheimer's and Parkinson. So like people have used music. So that's what I want to pursue. Um, Music therapy, brain, mathematics, machine learning, it's very wide. I still don't know. But yes, definitely, I want to become a physician scientist, but it's a very long journey. It's, I think, 11 years to get medicine and PhD. So, but I hope that with my passion, the time is going to fly. So, I'll, so that's what I'm going to be studying in the future.
Yeah, so initially you'll be starting with what course? As in India, it is
Like
India.
for North American University, you have to study science. So I'll be doing neuroscience
Okay.
specialist.
Mhm.
So it's just going to be neuroscience and the basic science,
Yeah.
and then I'll be going to the medical school. Like again, I have to apply, which is very difficult to get in, but never mind. So that's another 4 years.
Yeah.
But there's another pathway in which you study MD and PhD together. So that's another 7 years. So like 4 undergrad and 7 years for the
11.
medicine PhD. So that's 11. So that's what I'm looking for.
So great. So we'll see a new Sapolnach, a new avatar of Sapolnach after 11 years. And right now you have spoken extensively on music and mathematics and brain science and music therapy and all. And now I would request you to turn back and like he is accomplished a pianist and not only pianist, like he gave the entire school a surprise when on the annual day perhaps he played harmonium. Which raga it was? Indian classical raga?
Yes. Rab Yaman.
Rag Yaman. So it was for a length duration of almost 15 minutes or so.
I'm not sure. I think
No,
5 minutes,
almost
10 minutes.
around
I don't know, but it was enjoyable. I mean, like I got to learn
that.
Indian. Like wherever I go, I think it's good to learn many instruments, and at least I know that music is universal. Like let it be Indian, Thai music,
Yeah,
or any music. It's same. Like
yeah.
it's
Last
diverse, but it's still united together. So that's what I
Yes.
learned from
And
it.
when he talked about music is universal language, last year I remember 2019, 21st June. You remember 21st June, World Music Day, right?
Yes, yes.
And on the same day we have International Day of Yoga. So we had nice session actually. So first part was taken care of by Sapul Lunch to uh, give us a glimpse of world music, and later I took up. So it was all home affair, right? From the same house we did that. So it was good experience. You will turn back, but before you start, I'll ask you this. This question is bothering me from long time about pianist. Why? What is the reason that when pianists play piano in public performance, they show their back to the audience? I've seen everywhere. Is there any reason? Just to show that
Back to the audience.
means when you play, we'll see you playing.
Yes.
We'll see your
Um,
opinion.
I'm not sure about that, but maybe just personal opinion.
Yeah.
It maybe no. If it's a grand piano, I think the piano concerto. I don't think so. Is the back. You don't. It will be the sideways. Like if you have seen the piano concerto with the orchestra, then the pianist will sidewards. But if it's an upright like this, then it doesn't look good if it's like on the side. Like if you see here, I have to face my back, so I try to put it like slanting way so that you can see.
So suppose like would you put your finger into work? No, finger.
Sure, I don't know what to play. Let's see.
Whatever comes.
I will spend 2 minutes in
Yes.
playing.
Yes.
Maybe I will play half of the Bohemian Rhapsody. I think it's the famous song by the Queens, and they have made it into the movie. So I play the. I will.
You just tell me. I'll type this. What Bohemian?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Spelling. Yeah.
Bohemian. Bohemian
Bohemian. Then
Rhapsody. R.
Rhapsody. Okay.
Yeah,
R-A-P. Huh?
Rhapsody.
R-A-P.
Rhapsody.
Huh. P.
Rhapsody.
Okay. Rhapsody. Yeah. Rhapsody.
Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's the band by the Queen,
Yeah.
and another song. Um, Maybe I will play some classical, so it'll be a bit different. I play
Yeah.
the Western classical by Mozart.
Great.
So the song is called Sonata in B flat, K333.
B
Yeah,
flat. Huh?
B flat. Yeah, B for boy,
Yeah.
B flat.
Yeah.
So I play two songs. I start with the classical one,
Yeah.
then I'll just play the portion of it, the nice part.
Great.
So I hope to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just checking if the sound clear. Now I'll be playing the Queens. I hope the sound came well.
Yeah. Yeah. Came
The
very
sound is
clear.
okay.
Not
Yeah.
sound. Music came. The sound can be of two types, right? Either music or noise. So what we got to hear was soulful music. Yeah, it's great.
Yes, that's the first part of the Bohemian Rhapsody. The second part is even better, but I don't play it well.
Okay. So, yeah, you got to like from Tejangujo Teruja. You remember him long time back, 2014, I think. 2013, he left school. Yeah. Yeah, Yashasvi Kemani has also sent something. I'll show you. Kemanis. Yeah, you can see Kemani on screen. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Teju has given something. Yeah. So it was indeed great to hear. And see, as I said, that academics is his main interest, music is his main interest, and sports also main interest. Everything is main for him. There is nothing called subsidiary. And he is accomplished swimmer also. So when he swims, he looks like a fish. So he has been a swimming had been a swimming champion in school all throughout, then TT champion, and many more. As I said before, that list will go on and on and on. Suppose out of my academic interest, I would like to ask you one thing, like your journey, uh, your experience of extended essay, as you spoke about research, right? Now, my viewers might get little confused when a boy who just completed his grade 12 is talking about research, what he actually means. So before suppose starts, I must let my viewers know that uh, the kind of research that he has done, and it is part of their curriculum, right? Research based learning. And now the Indian curriculum new system that has come, educational policy, that is also going closer to IB curriculum. And Sapol has studied that new curriculum properly, Indian curriculum, and before we started live, we were discussing on that. So first, if you share your anyone you can take first that research based study, how important it is, and then maybe you can go to your extended essay. What kind
Yeah,
of
sure,
research
sure.
to be? Yep.
Um, I think, according to me, research based means that the curriculum or the teacher should should support the student to like like pursue their curiosity by themselves independently by using the resources available. Like for example, um, I want to know how music can cure a brain. I mean, one way is I can just go to the library, but then if the curriculum doesn't help me, doesn't teach me how to research, then I will never get the answer until I go to university. But then now I used the school resource, like the school subscribe to the British Council, and I have JSO and the ProQuest. So I use that, and then I also see some online books like the neuroscience books. So in that way, the research base, you can expand your knowledge to how much ever you want to learn. But then you have to be very active in that. And then once you are very active in the research base, whatever they want you to do, or rather what you want to do, you will gain so much knowledge that you will want to seek more, because you know in the world there's no limit in knowing stuff. And also the advantage of the research based study, like for example for my extended essay, I have to learn how to research in a systematic way. So like for example, I wanted to do something on the medicinal plants. So then I have to decide which medicinal plants I have to do. So first I have to think I should be able to grow them. And then if I want to check the, let's say, the chemical ingredient in the leaves, let's say, of some medicinal plants, I need to have equipment for that. So by researching, you learn how to utilize the resource properly. So I wanted to do something like ambitious stuff, like looking at the antioxidants in the basil plants, the tulsi. However, we don't have the equipment. They are only in the university level. So I have to change. Like for example, my ambition is to contribute something to medicine, but I don't have equipment to do. So I decided that okay, since tulsi is a medicinal plant, and since I don't have equipment to analyze the chemical ingredients, I just grow them. I find best way to grow tulsi plants so that people can have access to them. Then I narrowed my research question to urea, because urea I can buy it like with my budget. Some other fertilizers might be expensive, dangerous, might not be suitable for the soil. So I have to think. So all in all, the extended essay, the IAs, that's the internal assessment. Like I've learned how to research and research whatever I want, and research about, and I also learned how to conduct research, not just research. So that's the most important thing about IB. And I think it's I am hearing from Sir that the Indian educational policy has recently changed to somewhat close to IB, or let it be application based learning, like which I think is very nice for the international curriculum to have, and for the Indian curriculum to like slowly move and do a paradigm shift in the educational system. So I think yes, it's good.
Yeah, suppose like at one point you said you not only do research, you need to know how to conduct research. If I heard you right. Now, what's the difference? What you meant by that?
Uh, Conduct research means that, like basically, you have to learn what is science. Like, for example, in science, we seek objectivity. We want our research to have no bias. We need to control our the variables. We need to see whether it's just correlation or causation, or if I'm planning for psychology, like I've just read some books right now. So like there's a lot of parameters. So you if you start early like in high school, then in the university all this will not be a like a bomb. It will just be a progressive learning. But then
Yeah, sequential.
if you don't have any background, then it will be very hard.
Yes. So, what the PhD scholars do, the kind of research, Sapol already had this experience, and not only Sapol, everyone in his grade, because the curriculum is such, right? They have to learn this, develop this research skill in a systematic way, and everything goes as it goes for PhD students, right? When they finally prepare their document, research document, it has to go through tests
Yes,
for
peer review.
plagiarism, right? Through Turnitin. So it's a proper research. It's like a mini PhD. I won't be like it won't be an overstatement to call it as mini PhD, and they do it in every subject actually. Extended essay they do in one subject, that is fine, but other internal assessment works, what they do, that also involves lot of research, right? So suppose like if you would like to talk, no, I would ask you to let us know about your TOK essay. And my viewers may not know what TOK stands for. So if you can give a quick introduction to that understanding of TOK and
Yes,
the
sure.
essay title that you chose, and a brief picture of how you developed the essay. Yeah.
So TOK in IB is a compulsory component, and everyone
Okay.
find yeah, it's a core component. So therefore, they expect, and the full form is, by the way, theory of knowledge. It's not that it's a branch of epistemology, but we are not studying philosophy over here. Basically, it asks us to ask ourselves whenever we read anything that how do we know what we know? This is a very cliche statement, but it's confusing. Like, for example, if you see, basically, let's say in a news article, if you read the Hindu Times, the Times of India, or the New York Times about situation in Iran or Iraq, so everyone will be biased. Then we know. So we ask her, how do we know what they know, and how do we know what they are writing is correct or not? So that, but then TOK is not just asking about bias and all. It is asking about knowledge itself, how the knowledge is produced, how are we receiving it. So we are questioning every process of the manufacturing of knowledge and the receiving of knowledge, and how people like just accept knowledge, or how the scientific community view this knowledge as correct, as ethical. So these are what we study in TOK. Now coming to my topic, um, we have to do 1,600 word essay, which sounds a lot, but when we write, we think that it's not enough. Like 1,600 sometimes too less if we have a lot of content, and if we keep asking ourselves. So if we keep asking ourselves, like for this title, I had to ask myself about whether present knowledge is wholly dependent on the past knowledge. So it's very difficult to think that way, right? Like putting our knowledge into timelines. Like first we have to define what is past knowledge. I was like, how do we do it? So that's the first problem. I don't remember how I did actually, but but then past knowledge. I think like for example in science, you reject a knowledge, right? When you reject a knowledge, it means that that knowledge is already past, is a past, and what we know, meaning what we are not rejecting, is present knowledge. So then we can say that if we are discarding them, are we dependent on them? So those questions we have to ask ourselves, and then eventually we have to come to a conclusion. So um, in TOK, the conclusion is visible because we can't be one-sided. It's always an open question. So that's why everyone has different opinions. I also have different opinion based on what I have analyzed. Like in history, it's going to be different. History is the study of the past. So how do we classify what is past and what is present? So first, I have to understand what do historians do. So historians, what they do, I mean, I never took history, but I had to learn because I'm also very curious. So historians, so what I know, I don't know if it's entirely correct, but historians, they interpret the past, and then they tell the audience like what causes the World War II. So that's what the job of the historian is, or like the historians, they interpret how did this happen. So this is what makes it more present, makes some knowledge more present than the other. Like if there's some rejected view, like the Holocaust, like there's some Holocaust deniers. Like I don't know if everyone knows what Holocaust, but it's something about the killing of millions of Jews, right? Yeah, it's the kill. So some people they deny. They say that the Germans never killed Jews. I mean, I also don't know whether that happened or not. So it's a job of the historians to find out whether that's correct or not. So the different theories based on that is what defines whether it's present, whether it's past. So the present one will be more reliable, something like that. So that's what we do in TOK, and that's what I've done for my title. I won't go more deep into that.
No, just one more thing. Like in TOK essay, it is not just a random discussion that you need to do. You need to touch upon two subject areas, right?
Yes.
Which are called AOKs, areas of knowledge. Now, if you can just name the subject that you use, I know it, but for my viewers, which were the
Yes,
subject?
I used science and mathematics.
Yeah. So why I asked you, like, it was honor for me also.
Now I remember. I actually forgot.
Yeah.
Mathematics is also very interesting to do on this topic. Like I never thought, like if you see like 1 plus 1,
Yeah.
it was created in the past, but then it's still present because mathematics, whatever have been done, is not falsifiable. Like the truth is that it will remain true
Yeah.
if it's proven. So that's something amazing I've found. Like I've never thought of mathematics or science or social science in this manner. Like some like hypothesis will always be falsifiable. So it's very difficult if the curriculum did not include TOK to understand all this. Like it's because IB has included TOK, so I've learned how to analyze stuff and how to understand the core of each subject, like the meaning of each, the existence of mathematics, the existence of science. Why do we need them? So it's good experience.
So, say, yeah, session with you will give lot of food for thought for all of us. Now, when I talk of food, let us get get your view about food for stomach. Your experience of being in India and in a vegetarian school. Your experience about Indian food.
Uh, my initial experience wasn't so pleasant because I'm from Thailand and we never eat with hands. We eat rice mainly, and so we don't know any meat kind of product like chapati, naan, puri, and also Indian has a lot of spices. Not saying that Thai food has no spice, but the the style of eating and the taste is very different. So like I never used to eat dal until it's very funny until Saurabh sir says that dal has protein. And what I know is that all my non-vegetarian food, the protein comes from the chicken and all those meats. So chicken, seafood, and fish and all that. So I started eating dal, and now I like dal. I mean, I don't know whether I liked it or I became adapted to it, but yes, I learned how to enjoy all kind of food now. So yes, actually, I like Indian food now. It's good.
Yeah, so Sapol, it was indeed my pleasure and it was very engrossing. I forgot the sense of time also. So I wish from me that you'll scale great height. And when I talk of height, I think I'd like to conclude this with your another experience. Viewers, uh, Sapol has reached great heights in many sense. Uh, when he was in grade 10, after grade 10, he scaled the Mount Kilimanjaro peak, right? Hello? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So if you can, and he took it as a solo traveler, means no one from his family, right? mm, immediate family. So, if we can conclude our session with that experience, sharing of that experience of yours.
Yeah, so it was a solo trip and a very adventurous one, I might say, because I actually ran out of cash towards the end. But I mean, when you travel alone, you actually become immersed to the surrounding around you. I think that's the advantage. And then you get to make new people, you get to meet new people, you get to learn the culture, and you get to survive, survive in their way. Like I have to navigate through the streets. They were very hospitable, in fact. So the Mount Kilimanjaro is the highest mountain in Africa, and and you don't need any climbing experience to climb the mountain. So that's why I chose this. But you definitely need stamina and the perseverance because it was 6 days trip, like just climbing the Kilimanjaro, and um, I had to carry my backpack, but not a tent. There was a crew. That was good because I'm not an experienced climber. But yet I decided to accept the challenge that I will definitely climb the mountain. So the first few days were good. I got to see many plants. I learned the medicinal plants. If you remember, I did my research on basil or tulsi. Tulsi is referred to holy basil, but in Kilimanjaro, I have found Kilimanjaro basil, so that's what intrigued me. Like wow, I found another basil. Actually, it's a kind of African basil. You can search Kilimanjaro basil. It's a bit different. The leaves are big, but let's not talk about that. Let's talk about my journey. So I learned many medicinal plants. I made a partner. Like I had a climbing partner from Chile or Chile. Yeah. So a Chilean partner. So he's an experienced one. So like on the fifth day, it was very cold. Like so, we went to a place called Lava Tower. So it was snowing. I was sweating inside, but it was snowing. And when I stopped for eating lunch, the sweat kind of froze like in my body. So it was very cold and very hot. I don't know. It's everything is mixed and it's very confusing. But then I still climbed. So that's the fifth day. It was I think around 4,000 meters high. 4,000 meters high. And then on the sixth day is the last day. So I woke up around 11 p.m. in the night. And then I started my trek midnight. Then I climbed and reached the peak around 6:30 in the morning. So during that 6.5 hour climb, it is like both physical and mental challenge because there was very less oxygen and it was very cold, very windy, and I think I didn't have appropriate clothing. Like my shoes were torn, so I exchanged with someone somehow. So like I had to solve problems on hand, like on the spot. So I walked. So like there's another mountain nearby. It's the second highest peak, and that is 5,300 meter. And then the destination is 5,800 meter. And I started 4,800 meter. So it was a 1 kilometer cliff, like a big cliff, like almost this steep. So I kept seeing that mountain, and it was like never rising above my head. I mean, never rising below my head, falling below my head. I don't know how to describe it. So like I always felt that I'm below that. That peak is still higher than me. So I stopped looking at it. I just concentrated on climbing, and then finally 6:30 I reached the peak. I saw sunrise. It kind of gave me thrills and chills at the same time. So I was very happy that I reached there, but I stayed there only for 15 minutes because that's the limit. Otherwise, you might lack oxygen too much. And then while climbing down, it was awesome experience because I already reached the top. So I want to go down as much as possible. So I reached down in 1 hour, and I was like skiing down. like skiing down the soil. Like my guide and I, we were holding hands and we had walking sticks, so we were just sliding down. So it was very fun, but it like I learned. I think it taught me a lot. Like um,
Problem
I never
solving.
thought I never thought I would climb that high mountain, and then I almost gave up because I was vomiting on the way. But then once I reached there, I was like, yes, I have done it. So it was the same with every other experience. Like even for one actually, I was very tired. Like I had exams, and then we had to practice late at night. I had to write scripts. So that's life. You have to keep going on until you succeed. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have ended it so well. That's life. And almost for 1 hour, we have had a life experience, how to wholesome experience of life. We spoke about so many things from practical point of view. So all those things that were being shared here by Sapolnach are his practical experiences. About Kilimanjaro trip, he climbed down, came back, but there was something still waiting for him. You remember that luggage issue? Yeah,
Oh yes.
yeah, it was a big thing, right? Kenyan Airways, Indian Airlines. So it went on for almost 1 month, I think. So lot of mails and this and that, and finally he got back his luggage. So in this tender age, 18, you have completed 18 years? No,
Yes, going to in few months.
yeah. So he has experienced life to an extent which many of us may not have touched that level of life experience. So Sapul, all the best wishes,
Thank you,
and
sir.
more than our wishes, your determination will take you higher. You remember in our boarding house once we placed this banner saying that if you don't have determination, nothing can start you, and if you have it, nothing can stop you.
Yeah.
So you are one of the unstoppable ones. So we get all of us we get inspired, and our juniors will still remember you as Sapul Bhaiya. So you will be remembered. So almost we have completed 1 hour. So it was a magnificent 1 hour. So we'll catch up again. That time you will be in Canada perhaps.
Hope so.
I'll be
Hopefully.
So indeed, it was pleasure. So thank you very much for
Thank you,
giving
sir.
us such a nice experience. Thank you.
Bye.